So, for a few days, I didn't post any video on the internet, and I have already been like this, taking time off from posting already a few times since I've started posting, right? And every time I took my time off from posting, I was chilling, I was doing other things, but I always felt in those times of not posting, I always felt from within my individual experience that I'm being guided to post, that I'm being guided to speak, constantly having these, let's say, downloads, intuitive nudges from within my experience, from within my body, from within my soul, in my mind, what I need to speak about, right? This sense that, hey, Urosh, you're a leader of New Earth, you have to speak, you have to guide people, speak about these things, right? Not with these words and this my voice, but just as a feeling, right? A nudge, a gentle nudge, a constant, never ending nudge. It doesn't go away. This constant little pressure, hey Urosh, you need to be doing these things, right? These things that where you at which you're the best at, right? So, and when I do these things, when I post, when I follow upon the guidance of God, when I obey my intuition, when I obey my heart, when I obey my inspirations, when I am open to and act on the guidance of God that's coming from within my individual experience, when I do that, when I obey, I immediately feel fulfilled. I immediately feel nourished. It's not like fast food where it is very tasty but it doesn't nourish you when you are doing like superficial things in life, right? When you are disobeying the guidance. But when you are obeying the guidance, you truly get nourished. It nourishes you, and it is keeping you full till you are following upon the guidance. The moment you stop following upon the guidance of God, you feel depleted. You start feeling lack. You start feeling bored because you're not acting on the life being provided to you. So if you're not acting from life, you are not channeling that life through you, so you don't have it for yourself, right? And so if you're not open to it and acting it out, you're not channeling it through you. And if you're not channeling it through you, then you don't get it, right? And so then you feel bored, you feel unfulfilled, not motivated. And then people, because they don't follow God within their experience, so having a direct experience of God, not following God by following the words from the scripture and just following the idea, the belief that they have in God. This is superficial, right? Then you have another group of people that totally rejected the idea of God, and then there are people like me, grounded in reality, where they are following God, but not just in the mind, but holistically, right? Not just as a belief in an idea, but as a direct experience of God, with nobody in between me and God, but me following upon the life the inspirations of life that are boiling within me, that are given to me, to follow upon them, right? If I do that, if I obey God, if I obey life, because life is God, God is life, if I obey the life within, then I'm nourished. Until I'm doing that, I'm fully nourished. I'm full, I'm satiated, I'm satisfied, relaxed, full of life, I'm inspired, because I'm acting on all of these things, right? On the life within. And so these days were just like some other days where I didn't act on it, on God, and I truly felt like bored as fuck and unfulfilled. I was like, okay, I can listen to music, I can go eat good food. Maybe if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you're like, I can have sex, I can go into cinema, I can do that, whatever, right? I can buy stuff, right? We are like, we are trying to fill this void, we are trying to fill this lack with everything that's in the world, and we never get nourished by it. We are then constantly just escaping into it, trying to fulfill ourselves with the superficial material, worldly things that never nourish us. They never nourish us fully. We never fully get satisfied for a long period of time, and then we are just taking more of it, more of this drug, more of this addiction, more of this attachment, and at some point it isn't anymore enough, right? Just like when you watch porn, right? You start watching porn, you watch porn, the first time you are so aroused, and after a few years the normal porn doesn't arouse you anymore. Then you have to look at a fucked up version of porn, right? And at some point you have seen through all of the porn and you're not aroused anymore by nothing, right? This is how it is with worldly things, because there you can only be nourished from within. You can only be nourished truly, everlastingly, from the life force coming through you. There is no other way. Everything else, why people are so addicted to sex, right? Why this sexual immorality is such a problem in life, why there is so much of it. It's because sex gives us that, right? It gives us a feeling of being alive, right? Also drugs. Why are drugs so popular? Because they give us, we are not following upon the guidance of God, then we feel a lack, and then because you don't know about that, and primarily you fear following upon the guidance of God. So I feared all my life, right? And I've processed now this fear. I don't fear anymore following God. I have processed this fear. You have to first process the fear of following upon God, because this is our ultimate trauma. When we were following as children God, we were rejected in that by our parents, our caretakers, by the society. And so then we started living in fear of following upon the guidance of God, because we were rejected when we were like that. And so we have to process now this fear of that, right? But even when you process the fear of that, you can still, there is a little of free will that you have where you can be like, I don't feel like doing it, right? I would just want to do nothing or chill or go on the beach, right? But you will still not be fulfilled. So even when you process the fear of life, you are still bound to God. You're a slave of God. So either you do it and you're fulfilled, or you will never get fulfilled, and you will always be addicted to drugs, to sex, to all of these things that for a short period of time satisfy us, then we are constantly seeking it more and more and more, because we can never be nourished from something without, because you are given food to you, but you're not taking it, and you can only take it from within your experience, coming from God. Only if you accept it and act on it, it will flow through you, and it will nourish your body and your soul, and the mind will be satisfied and happy. This is how it is. Life is so simple. Either you are a slave of God and happy, fulfilled, relaxed, truly chilling out, or you are bored, lacking life, a little depressed, unhappy, following Satan. This is how it is. So you are a slave anyway, but I want to be a slave of God, right? Because it's a better place to be. I feel better there. So that's why I came here, back, doing this, because I'm constantly being guided to speak about these things, right? Being a preacher, like a natural preacher, this is what I have to do. This is my role assigned by God to me. I don't have a choice. If I don't do it, I'm not satisfied with anything in life. Even if my perfect woman, the love of my life, comes into my life and she is naked in front of me, I will not be satisfied if I'm not doing these things. I put myself in the situation, if I have everything, right? Millions of dollars of money, my perfect woman, everything I want, but not following upon the guidance, right? And being like this makes me lifeless. So if you want to fulfill your life, you have to start obeying God. It's so simple, and there is no way out of this. There is no tips and tricks, no therapy. You can only be healed by God. There is no other way. Check all of my previous videos where I explain what is the ultimate effect of trauma and how to actually balance and heal yourself. And all of this can only be done through God. There is no other way. And me right now speaking about these things feels like I'm back on track. I'm back on my timeline, on my destiny timeline, where I'm doing what I was meant to do. Even though I know it, I don't have the full picture of it. So God actually is demanding from us, like it or not, even though I have some, let's say, visions of the future that have already happened, and I know that it will happen. I don't know the whole thing. I can't have control over life by knowing everything that will happen, because then you're just not going to do it. You think then because of you knowing it that it will just happen, but you have to anyway manifest that, right? Work through it, be on the timeline where these things happen, where your destiny happens, right? So you have to be now on that timeline. You have to be living your purpose. Your purpose is to follow God. This is the only purpose you have. The only purpose of life is to follow God, is to be obedient to God. Not because some scripture or some religious people try to put fear in you, but because this is the only way in direct experience to be fulfilled in life, to come to the highest timeline of your destiny and get off of this hellish society into the new heavenly world, earth, right? That's the whole point why we are here. Or do you like it the way it is right now? Everybody being killed, right? I don't want it. We came here to save people, to save ourselves and to save people from a constant suffering, right? Because this society is fucked up. And truly God is the only salvation, my God. First of all, it brings healing. I had 4 autoimmune diseases. I still do, but they are like 90% resolved. Just from acting on God's guidance and doing fasting. Okay? I'm like, to me, this is already great. I could never imagine that this is possible, even though I was always a very optimistic dude. And it heals you. Only God can heal. And not just that it heals you, even once you're healed fully, or at least 90%, it is then the only thing that can fulfill you. And the necessary, God is the necessary fuel to propel you into the new earth. That's how it is. There is no other way. I'm not trying to be smart when I speak these things, right? There truly is no other way. I have tried all of the ways, at least many, very many ways that this system provides, and they are all dead ends. You always have to turn to God. There is no other way, and you have to know that I'm not a religious dude. My whole family are anti-religion. This was not something that I was born into, right? Like, this is the true spiritual journey. Not being religious, following the idea of God, or fully rejecting it, but having a direct experience of it, right? That's it. Follow the life within you through fears into healing and fulfillment. That's it. I already I already feel better just doing now these videos, speaking. I feel like I'm fulfilled. And if you want to tell me that, oh, look, this is just another addiction that you have, what is the difference between this addiction or going into the fitness addiction? Like, there is a difference. Because fitness addiction or any other kind of addiction, it's selfish. It is just for you and for nobody else, and not even actually for your soul, but for your ego. And this addiction to God, it brings fulfillment to the soul, and as you can see, it brings fulfillment to you. So it is selfless by default, acting on God's guidance. And if my soul is not fulfilled, life is not worth living. That's it. I hope I'm helping you the best I can. I hope you get something out of it. If nothing else, at least confirmation to follow your own intuition, to follow your heart, to follow what truly nourishes you, fulfills you. And believe me, I'm very experienced, nothing else does it. That's it. See you.